What is up, and welcome back to the Veteran Locker Room Podcast. I am Danny, your host, and I know it's been a while since you've seen my beautiful face on the podcast. I've been dealing with some personal health issues. Let's just say that if you're outside chopping down a tree in the middle of the summertime in Arizona, make sure you drink lots of water, because if not, you will end up with extreme heat exhaustion and not be able to lift one of your arms. Lesson learned. On we go. So we are back. This is the first episode of our new setup of the show. So sit back, get ready, because like we always say, this isn't your grandpa's podcast. And let's get started.
Veteran locker room vibe. With your host, and he take the ride. Sports talk, chilling side by side. Kicking back where legends roll. Danny's mic feels like home. Locker room stories, tales of glory. Past and present, never boring. Veteran locker room podcast flow. Where the sports world spins, we know. Danny's got the mic, let's go. Talking games that steal the show. Veteran locker room podcast flow.
We are back, and the NFL has not slowed down since we left. As a matter of fact, there were some great games this weekend. I want to dive into a few of them. There was also a pretty brutal injury. And let's get started with that. Now, let's talk about Cam Skattebo. And if you don't know who Cam Skattebo is, he was the little bulldozer who knew he could that played for Arizona State University last season. He was an overlooked running back. He should have won the Heisman, but he was overlooked for the whole contendership of the Heisman Trophy. And it caused a lot of stink in the college football world. And then came the NFL draft. And everyone thought that Cam was going to go in the early couple of rounds of the draft as a high pick. He was unstoppable. He was unstoppable. I mean, this guy would get tackled and he would keep those legs moving. His shoulder pads were low. He plays old school football. He looks for that defender running towards him. He'll lower that shoulder and he'll run that defender over. Cam Skattebo is a beast. So flash forward from his senior year of college of ASU, and we'll go into the NFL draft. As I said, everyone thought that this guy was going to go at least in the second round. But unfortunately, the rounds kept going, running backs kept getting picked, and Scat kept going further and further and further down the running back list. And so fourth round, that is. Fourth round, when the New York Giants scored big when they picked up Cam Skattebo. I mean, if there was one team that won big in the draft, I'm going to say it was the New York Giants. Because we all know the Giants needed a running back. Ever since Saquon left to the Eagles, they needed that hope. They needed hope because for the last God knows how long, they have been that team that was the laughingstock of the NFC East. So they ended up getting Jackson Dart, one hell of a quarterback that came out of college, and Cam. These two together, they were an old school hard knock football duel. I mean, if you look back at the pictures of Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo from the beginning of the season, they look like the lovable idiots the NFL has needed for a long time. They don't care what you think of them. They don't care what other teams think of them. They are your old school football players that love the game and they just want to get out there and hit somebody. And for Jackson Dart, a quarterback that instead of slides, he'll run and take the dive. He doesn't care if he gets hit. He'll hit somebody. That's a lot for a quarterback. But we're talking about Cam here, who, if you watched Cam in the preseason, and you watch him in his interviews, he's just that fun, lovable idiot that's just like in all of his interviews or yelling or screaming on the sideline. I know like a lot of interviews that I've seen of him from his coaches say that in the locker room, he's always screaming. In the meeting rooms, he's always yelling. Like one of the coaches is asking what's the main thing that they need to do on offense. And instead of going with what the coach says by playing smart, Cam stood up on the chair and yelled, aggressive. We need to play aggressive. And right there, the coaches knew they had one helper running back out of Cam. So from week one, Cam has been a wrecking ball. He has gone out of his way to hit any defender that comes his way. I mean, people said that Cam Skattebo wasn't going to project in the NFL. They said that he was going to be a one-show pony in college. And when he came to the NFL, that it was all going to be done. He was going to be stopped. He was going to make 5 yards, but they were wrong. Cam Skattebo took that energy from college and he brought in the NFL. This man will be given the ball and he will fight for those 5 yards. He will fight for that touchdown. He will throw his body in the line and he doesn't care because he loves the game that much. So a few weeks ago, the Giants play the Eagles, which again is a big rivalry in the NFC East, right? So Cam Scat and Jackson Dart embarrassed the Eagles, gave the Eagles one of their first losses of the season. So a couple weeks later goes by, and they play the Eagles again this last Sunday. And this is what I want to talk about. It was 3 minutes into the second quarter. Cam Skattebo gets a handoff from Jackson Dart, gets a first down. Okay, next play, he runs out for a 5-yard catch, fumbles the ball, but then you see he can't get up. The cameras zoom in on him and he has a look of confusion, like he has no idea what's going on. It zooms out and you see one of the most brutal injuries that any football player could get. It's the same injury that Dak Prescott got, where his foot was literally, so here's the way your ankle should be. His ankle's out like that. Nasty. One of the nastiest injuries you can get in the game. And it was a hard hit on the Giants. This is a very hard hit on the Giants. Like I said, after Saquon left, they've been looking for that true running back, and they found it in Cam. And you can tell that Cam is a big part of that team and a big heart of the team because the emotions that you saw on the faces of the Giants the minute they saw Cam go down. I mean, even Jackson Dart had hold back the emotions because he saw that injury the minute it happened. You saw the sideline, they look shocked. Surprisingly, I hate the Eagles. I hate the Eagles fan base. I hate the Eagles team. I think it's one of the worst teams in the NFL. The only time I will root for the Eagles is when they're playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and they're kicking fucking bitch ass Mahomes' ass. Because I can't stand Patrick. Even the Eagles look shocked during this injury. And it was one heck of a thing where you saw both teams come together and the fan base come together as the whole stadium went quiet when Cam went down. And then when they finally got him off the field, it was a standing ovation for him. I mean, it was great. Like I said, this kid's the true deal. I mean, just this season alone, on offense, he had 410 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns, 190 or 189 receiving yards before the week 8 injury. Coach DeBall, he says that Cam Skattebo will go all in on every single play and that he's truly going to be missed when it comes to the rest of the season. Fortunately, when he went to the hospital, they were able to get him in the surgery that night. And the cool thing was that Big Dom, which is the head security for the Eagles, after the game showed up to the surgery to make sure that Cam was good. He brought cheese pizza, cheese balls, and whatever else Cam wanted. So it's going to be a big hit on the Giants. I don't know how they're going to fill the place of Cam being gone. Like I said, this kid was a straight wrecking ball. And then later on in the game, Saquon Barkley ends up going out with a growing injury. It was one of those weird games. But here's the thing, though. The Eagles took advantage of Cam Skattebo missing from the game, and they ended up running the ball down the Giants' throat for the rest of the game. They ended up beating the Giants. It was 38-20. So that shows how much the Giants missed with Cam Skattebo. They couldn't move the ball. They couldn't do anything at all. So hopefully the Giants will figure out what they're missing, come back, and they're able to continue that momentum they've had since week 1 here in the NFL. Now, another game I want to talk about, and you know that I have to support them because the wife's a fan of them. And I've grown to kind of love them. They're that team what you can't talk crap about. You can't say anything about any of the players because they're just those true wholesome guys that just go out there, play the game. They don't trash talk. They don't have any of the drama that you see of the rest of the team. And yes, I'm talking about the Buffalo Bills. And if you've seen them play the last couple of weeks against the Patriots, that's when the trouble started with them. And like I told my wife, I think it's because they wore the special jerseys for the 2 weeks that they had play like straight hot trash, hot doo-doo. And I've been pretty surprised. Then they had their bye week. And I don't know what happened during that bye week. I don't know if Haley yelled at Josh to get his shit together or what. But holy crap, that game that they played this last Sunday against Carolina, it looked like a true Super Bowl contender. I mean, they finally used James Cook, what they haven't used all freaking season. Like, they re-signed this man that is one of the best running backs in the whole freaking league. And he did amazing. Like, he was unstoppable. I mean, they came out and James got 216 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 64 for 64 yards. And that was pretty big. With Josh Allen completing with 12 out of 19 passes, 163 yards, 3 total touchdowns, and he broke an NFL record by being the 46th straight player for throwing and running touchdown passes. So, what's to say about the Bills? Are they a true contender, or do they just play a crappy game or a crappy team? Carolina, they've had their problems. They have Red Ryder, who's up there in age. He's been over the last few seasons, but I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, they're finally getting their stuff together. Until I realized who they're playing this next week. And we're going to get to that, who they're playing this next week, because it is a rematch of last season's playoff where, I'll say it, they got robbed because they were playing Patrick Mahomes. And it's going to be one heck of a game. And we will talk about that when we come back from this quick break, brought to you by our sponsor, W Energy. And we're back from our break. Once again, our show is brought to you by W Energy, one of the most cleanest energy drinks you could possibly drink when you're getting ready for a podcast, getting ready for a workout, or getting ready for a football game. That's W Energy. And if you use this code right here, you can save 5% off your order from WEnergy.com. All right. So our silent producer said, I have too much hatred towards Patrick Mahomes. So I will come out publicly and apologize towards Patrick. It's not your fault. It's Andy Reid's fault. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. Talking about Patrick Mahomes, though, let's talk about this last Monday night's game when they took on the Washington Commanders. First half of the game, the Commanders were able to come out strong, keeping the Chiefs down to 7 points. When I was watching this game, I was like, holy crap, the Commanders actually have a strong chance of possibly winning this game. Defense looked great. Offense looked amazing. They were moving the ball 5 yards at a time. I mean, it wasn't the same that it would have been if Daniels wasn't playing the game, but of course he's out due to his injury. But they were doing great out there. A lot of people said they were playing crappy. I didn't see the crappiness. I saw a team that was out there trying to win a football game, and they were doing good against one of the most aggressive teams in the NFL. They kept Patrick out of the end zone for the first half of the game, basically. And then halftime came along. And before halftime, they asked Andy Reid what he thinks is going on, what he thought the problems was with, the Chiefs offense and stuff. And he plain out said, this is the weirdest game ever to see Patrick not being able to find the end zone, not seeing Pacheco finding the end zone, not seeing Hunt find the end zone. And then especially the fumble, there were 4 turnovers in the first half of this game, and I was really surprised with the turnovers that happened in this game, especially the one dropped or the one with Travis Kelce. It was a perfect pass from Mahomes to Kelce. It was going to be like a 45-yard completion, and he would have ran in for a touchdown. The ball hit his fingertips, and he froze. Like Kelce froze when he saw this ball hit his fingertips and go in the air, and it was intercepted. And personally, I think Kelce could have got the ball. I think he could have swiped the ball to make it an incompleted pass, but I think it was just so shocking to him that he tipped this ball up in the air that he just literally froze in the middle of the field. And that's ended up leading to the Commanders getting their touchdown. And then, like I said, then halftime came. After halftime, that's when Mahomes woke up, and the rest of the Chiefs woke up as well. Mahomes ended up getting 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then Kareem Hunt found himself in the end zone 2 times with a 94 yards in total. I mean, I don't know what Andy Reid told these guys in the locker room, but it woke them up. They made the Commanders look like the Washington Commanders that we've known over several years. I mean, it was an amazing second half, and I will give Mahomes the credit that he deserves. He didn't have the refs in his pocket that game. He didn't have the flags being thrown for him. He wasn't playing like he has over the last couple of years where he takes the hits and cries. He was actually out there like a true football player, lowering the shoulder as he's going in for yardage. It was a great game with them. Mariota, he had a great game filling in for Daniels. He had him finishing the night with 213 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. I think the key to this game was Washington missed a lot of key moments in the fourth quarter that they could have been making a comeback in the game. Yeah. And the Chiefs, I think the key moment for them was that second half wake-up call. They came out ready to play a football game. They came out aggressive. They came out to give Taylor the show of her life. And, that's the one thing that does bother me. Hold on. It bothers me so much with Taylor Swift. She's a great person. She's a great humanity person. She does a lot of stuff for charity. But when it comes to NFL, let these football players be football players. Don't introduce Travis Kelce as Taylor Swift's boyfriend or Taylor Swift's fiance. You know how many other football players are dating singers or famous actresses, and we don't even talk about them. Look at Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld. No one talks about them. No one mentions that Haley's at every single game. Then we have Cardi B and Stephon Diggs. Cardi B's at every freaking game. What the heck? We don't even show her on the screen that she's at the games. It's Cardi freaking B. Who doesn't love her? I mean, she's in the trap. B's in the trap. How can we not mention Cardi B in a football game? But when it's Taylor Swift, she's all over the place. This is the one thing that's really starting to bug me about football. Again, I'm not begging on her. I'm not saying she's a horrible person, so don't come at me sideways. I'm just saying there are other celebrities at football games except for Taylor Swift. There's other celebrities dating football players, and we need to open our eyes about that. The NFL isn't Taylor Swift world. We need to stop making it Taylor Swift world. We need to go back to being the NFL, focusing on football, and these gladiators that are out there throwing their bodies on the line every freaking Sunday, Thursday, and Monday. Okay, off of that rant. So the Chiefs ended up being the Commanders. It was a great game. But the great game, even greater game, is coming this week. Yes, I'm talking about the Cowboys against the Cardinals. One of the biggest rivalry games that happens, especially in my household, before my wife started cheering for the Bills. Last time the Cardinals played the Cowboys, they made us look like a freaking second grade Pop Warner team with stupid Dak who couldn't get a completion at all. Couldn't move the ball. Our defense couldn't do anything. And Kyler Murray looked like he was a Tom Brady wannabe out there. I don't even know what happened. But this coming up Monday, guess what? Cardinals are going into Jerry's world, and Kyler Murray is on the hot seat. Because if he doesn't perform this Monday, I have a feeling he's going to be benched. I have a feeling it's going to be the last time we see Kyler Murray until his contract's up or the end of the season we put him up for trade. Because the Cowboys, it's our season, baby. Okay? We're 3-3-1. Sorry, 4-3-1. Not the best record, but we're second in the FC East right now. We're still in that playoff race. And the games that we have won are games we shouldn't have won. And the game that we tied is against the Packers, who the Packers always come into Jerry's world and kill us. This is the first game that the Packers have gone in there that the defense of the Cowboys have been able to stop them, hold them in the regular timing, and make the game go into overtime. We beat them in overtime. Even though that field goal went off, we still beat them in overtime. Okay. I don't care what you say. The Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl this season. I'm saying right now, it's going to be the Cowboys and the Bills in the Super Bowl. And at the end of that game, you're going to see Dak Prescott holding that trophy up high, going, here we go, because we're going to make a comeback and we're going to go 2 in a row. Mark my words on that. Okay. Then we have another big game happening this week. I'm talking about the Chiefs and the Bills. This is going to be one of the biggest comeback games that have been waiting for. The Bills are coming off an amazing win over the Carolina Panthers. The Chiefs are coming off of an amazing comeback win over the Commanders. Both teams have all their healthy players. Both teams have everything on the line right now. And the Bills have a reputation to keep. This game right here is going to determine if the Bills are real this season or the game they won this last week against the Panthers was just a fluke. And I know Bill fans are going to come at me. You're going to say I'm dumb and stuff. But have you seen the games the Bills have lost? The mistakes the Bills have made? I mean, they have one of the best running backs in the game. They have some of the best receivers in the game. Josh Allen could run the ball if his life depended on it. But they have been playing like that. Like they didn't play like the Cowboys. I don't know if it's the curse of Hard Knocks or if it's the curse of the MVP, but for some reason, the Bills this season have not been able to get it together against a real Super Bowl contending game. The only Super Bowl contending game that they got together in will be week 1 against the Ravens, which they almost lost, but they ended up having the Buffalo Miracle happen. When I saw that game happen, I thought, okay, fine. The Bills are going to be for real this season. They're going to go undefeated. They have an easy schedule. There should be no losses. The only game I thought was going to give them problems was the game they have coming up this week against the Chiefs. I was wrong. I have been wrong every week. I only bet certain times. I almost bet this last week, and I was on a bet against the Bills, and I was in a bet on the Panthers. I thought the Panthers were going to embarrass the Bills after their bye week and end up whooping their booties just like the last 2 weeks have with them. I mean, I've been surprised at the last 2 weeks of the Bills. But they're going against their biggest rivalry team in Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Mahomes has been called old. He's been told that he is losing it. Travis Kelce's been called old. He's been told he's losing it. You have Rasheed Rice coming back from his suspension. And talking about that, the NFL did Rasheed wrong. Okay? I don't think that Monday Night Football is the time you put up a highlight of why this man was suspended. And if you don't know why he was suspended, it was because he was ended up in a felony car accident in Dallas, Texas, where he ended up doing, I think it was 30 days in jail. He's on 5 years probation, and the Chiefs kept him. which caused a big roar. But he did his time. He did his suspension. Let this guy play his game. He apologized for what happened. He came out and said, I was in the wrong. And that's big because a lot of these NFL players do not come out and say they were wrong. But he did. He came out, he took credit for what he did. So Monday Night Football comes around and they put up a highlight of him and breaking down what he did. So NFL, you kind of did him wrong on that. But anyways, but he's back. You have freaking Pacheco back. Pacheco, I can go on about Pacheco. I think he is losing the touch since he came back from that broken leg. Because before the broken leg, whenever Pacheco got that ball, he was running like an angry man. He was running like his feet were on fire or the turf was lava. Now Pacheco barely gets 5 yards to carry. He barely gets a first down when he needs it. And then that's going to put in Kareem Hunt in. I think Kareem Hunt should be the RB1 and Pacheco needs to be the backup. And then the other one that's surprising me now too is Xavier Worthy. He was the fastest guy in college. He was the fastest guy in the draft. He was huge when he played for UT. He was huge his rookie season, but all of a sudden he can't catch a ball and he can't run. It's like, what is going on with him, man? You were one of the top picks in the draft, and all of a sudden you can't play. You can't hold on to the ball. You can't get 10 yards. So this rivalry game, when it comes to the Bills and the Chiefs, will be huge. Like I say, it's going to show what team is for real this season, what team isn't for real, and it's going to set up the Super Bowl. So right now they have, if you're a betting person on this game, and you're going off what Vegas has to say, right now the Chiefs are 1.5 points the favorite to win this game. Okay, the Bills are coming in as underdogs at home. They're going to get, they have James Cook, has 715 rushing yards over the last 8 weeks. This is pretty wild for some to come in there with 750 yards. He has the best start of the Bills running back since the 1970s. So here you have, so pretty much as OJ Simpson, you have the best running back and you haven't been using him. What is going on, McDermott? Why haven't you been calling his number? But I think Buffalo has a chance of winning this game, even though they are the underdogs going into the game, because you have James Cook. James Cook showed last weekend that he's awake, he's healthy, he's ready to go. You have Josh Allen, who finally woke up. He's finally stepping up in the pocket. He's finally rushing. He's finally being that Josh Allen, that Superman that we've been seeing over the last couple of seasons. You have Shakir dropped the ball the last time they played the Chiefs, but he's been a solid tool for Josh Allen. So I think it's going to come down to Buffalo with Josh Allen's big arm, with James Cook's running, and the defense. The defense is going to end up winning this game. They're going to end up stopping Mahomes and company. If I put money on this game, I would put the money on the Bills. But I mean, then again, you can't count the Chiefs out because last time Chiefs played in Buffalo, Buffalo was winning the game. Second half happened. All of a sudden, next thing you know, they end up getting their booties whooped. And Mahomes and Kelsey look like the heroes at the end of the game. So we gotta see if they're able to stop those two guys. That's what they need to do. They need to stop Mahomes and Kelsey connection. So, like I said, if I was betting, money go on the Bills. You got Josh Allen, you got James Cook. Those are going to be the two main tools to beat the Chiefs. To stop the Chiefs as well, you got to stop Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, he's getting up there in age, but as he's getting up there in age, his legs are still strong. They're stronger than ever. I mean, have you seen Kareem Hunt run? Like, it makes it look like the wide open gaps every time this man has the ball. So it's going to be one hell of a game to watch. It's going to set up the playoffs. It's going to show what teams real, like I've said. And it's going to be pretty damn entertaining. That's what I have for these coming up games. I know there's a lot more games we want to go over, and a lot more bigger games are happening. Hey, you know what? Before I go, though, on this one, Joe Flacco, I know I say I hate you, but my friend, not my friend, just Joe, you're doing great things when it comes to the Bengals. You stepped up big time, and you made the Bengals look like they did back when Joe Burrow first came to the NFL. They're looking great. So I'm giving Joe Flacco, and this is going to be the only time that I ever say it, I'm giving you props. Another player that I'm going to give props to is Grandpa Rogers, who's also on the Joe Flacco list. He has made the Steelers from the laughing stock that can't win a game, that has no chances of making the playoffs, to the Steelers are going to go to the playoffs. Steelers are a true contender. And I think when the Steelers meet the Cowboys, Grandpa Rogers is going to be a young Rogers, and it's going to be a rematch or a repeat of when Dez supposedly dropped the ball. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, we're going to take a last break. Once again, sponsored by W Energy, and we will be back after this. All right, welcome back to the show. So that was our first show back. Again, it has been a while since we posted any kind of episodes or anything. This is our new format. It's going to be great going forward. It felt good coming back on recording. It's been a while since I've just had the drive to get in and record. So I know it's not how it used to be. We didn't talk about college football. We didn't talk about other stuff. Trust me, next episode, we'll go more into college football and their playoffs. We'll go more into week 9 of the NFL playoffs coming up. Just wanted to get back out there, put episodes. You know that, hey, the show's going on still, and we're going to make this thing strong. And the only way we can do it is if you follow us. That's right. So if you follow at Veteran Locker Room on Facebook or our YouTube channel at the Veteran Locker Room Podcast and iHeartRadio at Veteran Locker Room Podcast. And as always, you can always drop us a line at veteranlockerroompodcast@gmail.com for suggestions or just stuff you want me to talk about on the next show. But going forward, we will be talking about other sports. We will be, NBA just started up. WNBA started up. Or WNBA ended, I'm sorry. But the World Series, maybe we'll talk about that. I don't know. I just want to thank you guys for sticking with me through this change, sticking with me through the time that's been since posted an episode, and watching this one. I know this one hasn't been the best, and I promise the next one will be better. I just want to thank you guys for all the support. And one last thing before I go. Go support girls flag football. For those people that say girls can't play football, you're wrong. Girls flag football is the real deal. I've been watching a lot of flag football lately, and these girls play like the dudes, but without pads. So if you know any girls that play flag football, go out there and support them. You know a high school that has a flag football team? Go out there and support it. You're not going to be disappointed. I'll tell you that right now. So until next time, I'm Danny. I'll see you later. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care.